When it comes to rising sea levels, the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets have attracted the most attention. They contain 99% of the Earth's freshwater ice. But a new study has found that water from melting glaciers influences sea level almost as much as the big ice sheets.
A lot of these glaciers outside of the ice sheets are located in areas that are at lower altitudes and less extreme environments. So they're much more susceptible to changes in temperature. So in the near term, over the next century or so, these smaller glaciers are going to play a very large role in sea level rise.
Ice on the world's highest mountain, Mount Everest, has shrunk by 13% in the last 50 years. Other glaciers in the Canadian Arctic, Alaska, the southern Andes and other parts of Asia have also been on the retreat. Well, the researchers pulled data from satellites and ground measurements to understand how glaciers like this one influence sea levels. Between 2003 and 2009, they say glaciers poured about 260 billion tonnes of water into the world's oceans. That represents about 30% of the water that contributed to rising sea levels during that time. Another surprising finding was that melting ice in Antarctica hadn't contributed as much as previously thought to global sea level rise.
You see some areas that are melting quite fast, but those areas that are melting quite fast are being compensated by other areas that have seen increases in precipitation. And that increase in precipitation is countered any increased meltwater leaving the glaciers.
Earlier this week, a study concluded that total sea level rise this century should be no more than 69 centimetres. That's significantly less than some previous predictions, but with 100 million people living within 1 metre of sea level, it will still have a dramatic effect.
There's perhaps nothing we can do to prevent the melt, but there's definitely a lot people can do to prevent the impacts of increased melting. So in areas where we have mountain glaciers like Himalaya, people rely on the water for subsistence, and it's an important thing to track how much meltwater will happen from there. People need to know how much melting will occur in the future. Sea level rise will potentially cause flooding, and we have to plan for that by building stronger flood defences.
Both studies will now form part of an update due to be released by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change in September. That report will be the most detailed look yet at the Earth's changing climate and what we can expect in the years ahead. Tarek, Bazely, Al Jazeera.